Hi everyone, this is my part or Crystal's part of the segment. So I'll be demonstrating how I use the hex in an earlier video. This drawing is gonna be pretty basic, so I won't be drawing anything extravagant. So here is generally how I draw. So firstly, I will make a layer and call it the sketch layer. So obviously, as the name suggests, I'll be sketching. So today I'll be drawing an eye. You might be asking, an eye? Why just an eye? Well, usually I just draw an eye for practice because there's many different types that you can do. So I'm just gonna do a very generic anime-esque style eye. Do know that this is my style of drawing eyes, and oh, honestly, someone could have a very similar style to I am. So this is just a very general tutorial on how I draw. So I have a general shape of the eyes that I want. I'm gonna add some small details that I want my eyes to have. It's pretty messy, I understand, but this is usually how a sketch starts out. I'll use a bigger brush and go one round. Oh, that's not perfect. Okay. Generally, the start of the sketching of an eye, I have the general design of like my eye here also ready. So let's move on to the second section. So I'm gonna make a new layer and name that line art. Alright. So the line art is basically what your final drawing has as like its outline. So I'm gonna change the opacity of my sketch and lower it down and now have my line art layer activated. Remember to make it, remember that it's your line art layer. If it is the same layer as your sketch layer, then you will be in big trouble when we go on to our next step. So I'm just gonna start working on the line art. It might be a little tricky without stabilizer, so I'm gonna use stabilizer, but I'm not gonna make it that big of a distance. You can see that with stabilizer, it's a lot cleaner and easier to draw. Alright, now we have our general shape. I can turn off stabilizer and start adding in little details and trimming what we currently have as a canvas. Uh, here. sketch and see this is the general shape of our eye currently. So looking at our old sketch, I feel like it lacks a bit of volume on top. So I'll just add on a bit of volume. Kind of like mascara in a way. It's a lot more full now. Like that. Feel free to erase off any little designs that you think are unnecessary or are too much, like I'm doing here. And you can write in 6 gaps. Right? It's general sketch. Or general liner. So now the outer layer, we will do color. So this will be our base color area. So looking at the advanced color selector, I think maybe we'll do some nice green eyes today. So this is how I usually do my colors. So okay, our color section. Then proceed to add on more layers of colors, which progressively get lighter and lighter. Oh, that's the erase function. And then we go even lighter. And lighter. And here's a very cool trick to make your artwork look very mesmerizing with very little effort. Here is the blender tool. Arguably one of my favorite tools ever. And you'll see why in a second. So you look at all of these colors, they look so pretty, right? If I blend it up from the bottom up, you will see that it becomes like a very beautiful gradient. So this is the power of the blender tool. I absolutely love this tool. It is like one of my favorite tools. But do be careful, the more you blend, the more it will spread, and sometimes it might blend out and become too white. So after you're done blending, oh, trim off the excess. And that's your base. If you want, you can add more dark, like I'm going to here. Just make a smaller brush and blend it right in. Yeah. And I personally occasionally like to add a tinge of white on the inside, so when I blend it out, it looks almost magical-esque, that it's like a little white. Then to that, I'll make another layer. So the thing about eyes is that it can have a lot of layers and a lot of textures. Here I have the center of the eye. Very nice dark green. We're gonna put another green on the inside. And honestly, this would make do as a beautiful eye already. But since we're going for the anime style, I'm gonna go for some nice flares. So little spots of light. So sometimes I like to use textures, and in Krita there's the star texture where you can see these spots of light. But some people may say that it's a bit much. So I like to concentrate it and a bit more and have it not be as opaque. So it adds a bit of texture to the eyes. And also the bubble too is also nicer for more obvious ones. Here. Instantly makes it feel more magical. Sometimes you might also want to add like larger little. Oh, but this is I'm not gonna do this though because it isn't my favorite tool. So we go back to favorites brush. Proceed to add my own little flare. So in this case, I'm just gonna go with the standard blob of light. Yeah. It's like the Milky Way in the eyes. Super pretty. If you want to make any subtle changes, you can use the eye drop tool, select the color you want, and go ahead and make that change. So in this case, I kind of want to make my eyeball a bit smaller. I feel like it's a bit big, you see. So I'm gonna make it smaller. And I'm gonna erase the excess. Yep. This is much better. Go to color, erase off the excess. And yeah, honestly, this is a very basic tutorial. If you want to go one step further, you can use a white-ish glaze. Usually I use a grayish glaze to make it look a bit more, let's say, this murky. This isn't the most realistic eyes, but it is one of my favorites. And you can add on a bit of a darker shade near the bottom. Oh. Up near the top, a bit darker. Bottom, lighter. And make the whole layer a tad lighter. Yeah, this is what I would call a pretty manageable eye design from very spontaneously drawn. So I hope this is helpful. And if you want to export the whole piece, you can either just leave it like that and save it as an export and export it, or you can merge all the layers together as one artwork and send it to your friend if you want to collab with someone, for example. So yeah, this is my end of my section of the tutorial. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye!